And the reason why I'm making a video today is that yesterday none of these little leaves were out. Had a good hard rain yesterday that delivers a lot of nitrogen into the soil, and that allows these peach trees to start doing their thing. But all my trees are really doing something. But the ones that are, I gave them a little boost. I mean, you do that every year. You get your trees coming out doing their thing a lot quicker. And so that's what I did. So this tree here is a peach tree. This is a Hail Haven, and it grew really well last year, but it didn't give up any peaches because it was only about 2 years old. This is the 3rd year for it, so it's actually putting on blossoms here. You can see that. Where they at? Oh yeah, here we go. These are the earlier blossoms, but you know, you can see clearly that she wants to fruit this year. And so that's what I'm doing. And it's been wet last night. The worms are all running through the soil. And this one here is a what they call this one here is a Georgia. And the Georgia, in this climate here, which is 7B, my Georgia grows a tree, doesn't produce a whole lot of fruit, just doesn't. But this year it's putting on some buds, some fruit buds. I mean, well, fruit blossoms. I can see that. And that's what they're doing. But this tree, I like it. But if you were living in Maryland, I would say get a Hail Haven or a Red Haven. Here's a tree here. Alberta is also another good one to think about, because this is Alberta, which I always wanted Alberta. Look at it. It's putting on everything. I mean, it doesn't mind too much a cold climate. And you see here, this tree is only 2 years old. This is a 2-year-old tree, and it's been cut back a number of times. But I don't mind the small wood, but when the woods start getting big and woody and thick, I cut away the wood, because I'm not growing wood. I just want to grow fruit. I don't want to grow a lot of wood. So when you see these branches like this, about that size, pencil thick, and you got the color there, which is like a burgundy color, that's fruiting wood. But this wood here, you see here, that's mostly foliage. You can see the color of it. It's more like a greenish brown or brown from what I'm seeing. But when you see that purplish color, those are all fruiting wood. Over here we got a peach. Excuse me. This is a tortellini. This is a cherry tree. These get real big, so you got to really stay on these, I think. Keep them down, because right now this tree is about 5 foot tall, and by summer it's going to try to get around 12, 15 feet if I let it. Alright, so I'm enjoying this tree here. This is a beautiful looking tree here. But I digress. And you can see a little bit of rain, and all of the blueberries are starting to come out and get their foliage on. And these are all different varieties. I use leaves to feed them, and I use to kind of acidify the soil. I use a what they call it. They call it a peat moss. This one here I bought doesn't look all that great right now, but it's still green. It's still green, and so you know, I'm just keeping an eye on it. It's green. I put it in there late winter, so it's got some catching up to do. It was $1. This one here is got smaller buds on it, but it's still doing its thing. As you can see, it got some buds on it, and that's what I like about these. I love blueberries, especially when they're free, and when you grow them yourself, they're really sweet. So that should be it. I just want to show you what's going on now. Oh, let me show you my older peach tree. It's older, and so I like the older tree, but this year you can see now, look at it, how big it is. I'm standing back about 10 feet, and it's just wide. And now what's going to happen this year is all this thick wood here, and look at the base of the tree. This wood here is almost as thick as the base. So that's got to come, a lot of that's got to come out of there. one year it produced so many peaches that they were small, but so many. So this year I'm gonna watch it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically get everything down to what they call a, just removing all the major peaches and get them down to a certain number so the tree can support them. And this one here also. Wait a minute. This one here is a Georgia. Yeah, this is a Georgia. This is a young Georgia. And see, it doesn't have any fruit buds on it yet either. And this is a young, about 2 years old. I think it's about 2 years old, yeah. But in this spot here, it wants to grow big. This one here is a Hail Haven. And it's a very healthy tree. I really like this tree but in another 3-4 weeks, you're not going to recognize this tree. This tree going to have leaves and pretty pink blossoms all over it. And that's how you do it. You grow your own food. But they like kids. You can give them a little bit of fertilizer if you choose to. See that little pile there? That's a little handful of organic fertilizer. I don't call out brand names, but that's all it is. It's all basically the same. And this right here is a tree that has done very well in the past. But we'll see what it does this year, because it produced so many the year before. It didn't produce any last year. And now it's going to have a chance to gain its reputation back, so to speak, this year. But all this old stuff growing over in here, I'm going to cut back all of this back in here and get it down to where, the tree is got more fruiting wood than just wood, because I don't grow wood. But you don't overfeed the trees, because if you do, the roots will stay in the area where you want them at. They're like kids. If you feed them, they're not going to leave home. And that's just the bottom line. They're not going to leave home at all. This is the morning garden I'm showing you. And this right here is another cherry tree. This is a tortellini as well. In the background you can see all my little plants coming up in the containers. You can see that some of them getting too big to be in the containers. As you can see, they busting out of there. But I like these little greenhouses because, I mean, that there you can make a salad out of some of that. But in another week, I ain't gonna give it another week. I'm gonna give it another few days. That this got to come out of here. I might take some out tomorrow and film it. But look at all that. These are healthy. These are very healthy. What is this? Oh, these are lettuce. Okay, they're all green. Love that. Love that. Take them out of here. They'll start really getting big. And I'm telling you, everything in these containers I'm looking at is growing. This is spinach. This right here is mustard green. And there's a whole bunch of other items in here. I can't name them all right now. So let's keep up the good work. This is the Morning Gardener. Thank you. And let's have a happy growing season this year.